Hello, welcome to another episode of the Live Cost Construction Experience. Delighted to be joined by Stephen Kinch of Kalc Accounting. Stephen, welcome to the Live Cost Construction Experience. How are you, mate?
Good, Kieran. Yeah, keeping well. Not too bad at all. I suppose it's a little bit different than being face to face, or obviously the current situation. We're all working from home and trying to adapt to that and manage as best we can. I suppose lucky enough just for ourselves, being accountants, we're kind of able to manage working from home and doing what we do. Things can be done over the cloud or whatever way might be integrated with our clients. Um, as you can imagine for ourselves, there's a lot of business continuity plans with our clients that might not be continuing business at the moment or
Yeah,
laying off staff and stuff. So it's scary times, but we're doing our best to push through and help everybody out as much as we can at the moment.
it is a mad time. It's crazy. I mean, I suppose, has this completely changed your own
Not
day-to-day
normally in
stuff?
the office, but in saying that, obviously out and about an awful lot, meeting prospective clients, new clients, obviously current clients as well, be it at their offices or in a mutual venue. It's always possible, and obviously have the laptop on me and stuff like that. So we could have done it remotely, and anyway,
Yeah,
we took the initiative early. So I suppose when it started happening, we put a few people from each department to try working from home.
yeah,
And kind of what we identified then was the pain points or the IT issues. So we kind of got that sorted early enough. So really, within the first week, then we had everybody working from home. And in that case, we had kind of learned what the potential issues were. Was it VPN? Was it monitors, headsets? Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? The little kind of things that were inevitable was going to be inevitable. That just the general IT issues that you're going to get. So we were lucky in that sense that we did take the plunge early, and just given what we do, we can continue to work from home. So thankfully,
Yeah.
it hasn't affected us too much.
Yeah, we're in a similar position. I mean, our inquiry level hasn't dropped whatsoever, meaning that we're now doing. So I suppose being in a similar position to yourself, I
Yeah,
always like to meet people face to face, get
yeah,
get in front of people, sit down, have a chat, have a coffee, whatever it is. You just can't beat that.
yeah,
But what's happened in the last couple of weeks is everyone's now obviously gone online. So we're now doing all our demonstrations. We're on board customers. We're training customers completely online.
yeah,
And I'm wondering to myself, have we inherited a way of working from previous generations that we just sort of took, and is there a correction coming here?
yeah,
A lot of people start thinking to themselves, like, I did work in that fashion because that's the way I was brought up and being sort of inherited, as I said. But I'm just thinking to myself, is it like productivity was getting a bit done,
absolutely.
which is crazy. But anyway, we are a software plugin, and I cannot keep track of the amount of times I ask the question, Kieran, what
Yeah,
accounting software do you recommend? All right, and I don't know the answer, right? Because I'm gonna give a answer to that
yeah,
question influenced on what I suppose what live cost can do with that accounting software, and I'm probably not going to look at it from an accountant's point of view. So to we wanted to address
yeah,
the elephant room, get someone in that has experience, not someone in
yeah,
from Xero who's going to give a biased opinion on Xero, not someone in from Sage, someone that has experience with dealing with a lot and sort of give us an indication
mm,
of the pros and cons, I suppose, of them all. Before that, can you explain Calc accounting and
yeah,
what today
absolutely.
looks like in there?
Yeah, is part of the Icon Accounting group. So basically, Icon Accounting is a market leader for accountancy solutions for professional contractors. So that's been the case for over 12 years. So to describe it, it's a one-stop shop for professional contractors. We even built an internal portal, online portal for our clients. They have accessibility to their invoice and expenses, all of that sort of stuff. So we kind of said, do you know what? If we could bring this over to our SME clientele and of the technological advances in the industry, so our day to day uh, is really trying to take away the traditional accountant, big stacks of
Yeah,
invoices and purchases, getting people onto better systems. To be honest, it's really about freeing up their time. So if we can free up a client's time where they're taking an hour or two a week to input their sales, their whatever it might be, their administrative duties as such, and put that in a way that we can reduce that down. Obviously, for us, we want to integrate as best as possible with our clients. So if we can spot anyway, like, listen, to be honest, Kieran, everybody can improve their systems in some sort of way. There's room for improvement for everybody. So we've obviously that was the first phase to kind of try and focus on our own clients and improve productivity and efficiency. And what's happening is, for somebody that previously it might have took us 2 hours to go through the stuff they dropped in, that now, given the systems we have in place, we don't even have to chase them for stuff.
Yeah.
It's done in 20 minutes, half an hour. So we've an hour and a half saved time. They've saved time. We can add value in so much other ways. If it's financial planning, wealth management, we're trying to even take it from a 365-degree view as such, where say the likes of, say, marketing, consulting, all of that. We're really trying to cover everything from. So that's the idea with Kalc. And as I said, it's been a great start so far, and hoping we can kind of keep pushing with that. At the moment, as I said, it was just for a lot of our clients, it's they're not in business, or a lot of them are looking at business continuity, planning ahead, and what they can do, and also migration as well. So if they're at the moment, if they're having to transition to work from home and it's just not possible, or it might be possible, but it's taking an awful lot more time. How can we come in and do a migration plan for them to kind of get,
It's a decent point, because I suppose, just speaking about our own customers, a lot of our customers would have sort of passed the selection process of accounting software to someone across that understands it, i.e. the bookkeeper might say to them, listen, I use this accounting software, and therefore they just inherited this system from a bookkeeper, and it's generally not fit for purpose. Or they have someone that they brought in who worked in a previous company, brings along this system. And a lot of the time, the actual operator of the business doesn't get involved in the accounting software. A lot of the times we actually find that, they don't know enough about it, I suppose, and they don't know the pros and cons of a lot. Very, very basic question, but there is still people out there, believe it or not, that don't have any accounting software. We come across them regularly. Why, in your opinion, should a business look at an accounting software?
I think it's an integral part now of running a business. From you could argue in terms of getting money in as quickly as possible, being able to process an invoice right away and email it across, even from the point that when an invoice is sent, now it can be sent with a link that someone can pay it right away, rather than having to do a bank transfer. They can go online and do it. So I think it's just a necessity. It really has to be. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go with a particular software, but having some sort of system in place, and even for the likes of even if you're a small business managing debtors and creditors, and being able to kind of keep track of that is obviously going to be extremely important particularly for cash flow as well, as you can imagine.
And then I suppose, how do we know then which accounting software is going to be a good fit? This is the type of questions that I'm getting hit with all the time.
Absolutely. I think that the main thing to do is to ask yourself, look at your company and how you do things, and what exactly you kind of need to get out of a system. So it could be a company that relies heavily on sales on a CRM platform that they might need to they be on that all day every day, and how can that integrate with an accounting system? Or is there an accounting system that might have that? Which there is accounting systems that do have that. The likes of Sage has it. Xero can pretty much integrate with any business application. It's absolutely fantastic. So kind of seeing what way you do things, and then obviously seeing what's available for that. But I'd also kind of recommend, asking your current accountant, look, this is how we're doing things. How could we improve it, or what options do we have? As you said, if you kind of go to a particular accountant provider or a particular software advisor, they might be a little bit biased. Whereas if you maybe go to someone else and kind of get a bit of a feel for a few. The good thing is as well, most softwares will give you a 30-day trial. So if it's the case you want to go on and have a feel for it and see. For anybody that's kind of a little bit aged or a little bit caught behind, where they're purely on a desktop solution, where they might still they just normally do their backup or whatever they have within their company. Times like now would really kind of make them think, Janie Mac, I really need to get onto something more cloud-based, or something that I can log on from home, or I can even get on my mobile, or whatever that might be. So that can obviously
Yeah, no, that's a key point. I mean, you touched on two, and I suppose let's just stick to two because there's so many to pick from,
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
let's say we're talking about well, our most popular two that we come across all the time would be Sage and
Yeah.
Xero. I suppose what are the pros and cons? I suppose let's pick Xero as a starting point. What are the pros and cons of Xero to say a product that looks like Sage?
Yeah, it's Clash of the Titans, isn't it? It's the good thing is they're so both so good that it's not like one is so far ahead of the other that it's such an obvious choice. It's not, and people would argue either way, be it for Zero, be it for Sage. Um, I think Zero is better, particularly for whoever is going to be the bookkeeper. And from I suppose the pros of it is the bank reconciliations and the well, I know it can be done also on Sage, but it's just not quite as tech savvy as Zero. They're so innovative as well. I find with Zero that it just seems like it's evolving or it's getting to the next stage where I don't know if Sage has gathered that much traction as maybe Zero had. Um, but I suppose from a functionality point of view, from the from the basic package, you're probably going to get a little bit more out of Zero than you would out of Sage. Not saying that that's better or it's a better package, but again, you got to look at what you're looking for in terms of how many staff you have. Is it all going to be in-house? Are you going to be looking to work remotely? That type of thing. Zero is a pure cloud-based software.
Yeah.
It can be accessed from anywhere. And the good thing is as well, actually, I meant to say, is the users. There's unlimited kind of amount of users that you can have on your particular company within Zero.
And that's
You get a bit,
probably where some people got caught out now. Being like, let's say you're Sage 50 user, you're
yeah.
probably being caught out just now being you're not as agile as say what Zero were being cloud based at the moment.
Exactly. There is the possibility with Sage to the sister cloud operating being the Sage Business Cloud, and effectively what that is it's giving you that accessibility from anywhere like Sage does. So they're obviously trying to match what Zero are
Yeah.
doing and make sure that they have that available as well. Again, there's such a long list of what Zero can do and what Sage can do. We could be here all day talking about it. I'd argue that Zero is a little bit more user friendly. It's quite simplistic and it's easy on the eye a bit as well. Sage was originally designed for accountants back in whatever the 90s or so when it kind of came around, and some people might feel that it's a little bit more suited for accountants rather than for non-accountants or people
Yeah.
in the day to day. Now again, that's purely personal and how people feel about it. They're both so good nowadays, and again, it's just also touching on maybe where Zero might edge ahead. The more users and stuff you have, or the larger your company kind of begins to grow, it can get a little bit more expensive with Sage than it would be on Zero.
Okay.
You kind
Yeah.
of get a lot more. Well, not that it's they're both very reasonable, but Zero kind of wins in the longevity of pricing as you add on different features and functions.
And
Um,
do both offer direct bank feeds?
They do, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, they do. Now, obviously, depending on what type of Sage you're on. If you're still kind of on the normal desktop function, a lot of the guys would have migrated from Sage 50 to the Sage 50
Yeah.
Cloud, which basically means it's still a desktop solution, but now they have a cloud backup. Now they have a somewhere to store their data,
Yeah.
and do their backups every day. It the way they approached that was to rather than having just everything on your server. So if there was a fire, if there was ever an accident, you're gone, you've lost everything. So they brought in the cloud function to kind of have that security where your data is being backed up, but it collaborates with Office 365, and then it collaborates with Google Drive, so stuff is being backed up. I don't actually know if it has to be done manually or if it's done automatically. Still, probably just not as quite as efficient as Zero would be,
Yeah.
because it's just purely cloud based.
In
But
in terms of add-ons, then Stephen, I know they both offer a marketplace, but would you have sort of opinions on which marketplace is better? And when I mean marketplace, for people that don't know, it's add-ons and plug-ins, similar to what we do actually. When in Livecast, we class ourselves as a plug-in or an add-on. Would you have an opinion on which marketplace and which add-ons, which product offers the best?
Sage, I suppose, focus a little bit more on Sage products, and inevitably, given that they're Sage products, they're getting there. They're slowly catching up a little bit. Like I think recently, I think it's Stripe now, that they're integrating with. The auto entry is a fantastic one where. Just to explain that, it's where you kind of take a picture of something on your phone or whatever it might be, of an expense or a copy of a a bus ticket or whatever it might be, and the software will actually pick up that and try and or automatically basically post it to an expense or to a bill. It'll have the supplier, it'll have the breakdown of travel, say for a leap card or something like that, or whatever it might be. So they're getting there, but they just purely can't match Xero for the amount of third party business applications that they can integrate with. It's endless. It's and it's constantly growing. It's unbelievable what they can do. And that for me is why I just feel they're just that little bit more innovative on kind of what they're doing. And there's not an awful lot of things that they can integrate with. So as I was saying kind of earlier, if it's a CRM platform that you're looking for, if it's maybe cash flow, they have cash flow function, but if it's something a little bit more bespoke you're looking for, if it's approval where you have a heavy load of say purchase and stuff like that need approval, they've obviously all got that available. Even from the likes of yourselves, Livecast been able to adapt and integrate with that. No, I'm not saying that Sage can't either, as well, but there wouldn't be an awful lot that Xero would turn down in terms of add-ons or things like that. So
we find them well. Listen, as I said, it's at the outset, we integrate with both. It's just some accounting softwares allow us to do more, and Xero would be very proactive in wanting to think about their user, whereas Sage, I think, being an accounting software with accounting mindset, tend to be a little bit more structured in how they like to do things the Sage way. Xero will allow you to sort of do a bit over there and bring it in. We're big fans of both, to be honest with you, but again, we would be pro cloud anyway. That would be always our stance on things. There was a fair bit going on there. So we touched on access, right, being important. Xero offer a bit more around the access. We talked was price when Sage can get a bit pricey. We talked about the various different cloud versions, and Sage has a bit in the cloud, and then there's obviously have the Sage Business Cloud. But that's more targeted towards a smaller company. Would I be right in saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's fair. Most of our companies say that they'd be on the go, they'd want to get access on their mobile, things like that. So yeah, that's a fair point. It kind of would be.
And then we touched on add-ons being marketplace. Is there any way we can bring this together and summarize all that in some sort of?
I'd say, Kieran, as well. It's going back to seeing what processes, seeing what you're using. If it is Sage that you're currently using, and maybe it's just a desktop version, and now's the time you might be stuck working from home and kind of seeing, right, what's my opportunities, and really, honestly, my best advice would be to consult with an accountant in particular, or somebody that would be familiar with the different softwares, because normally what we would do is we would say, right, look, what's your company? What are you involved in? Okay, you're in the construction industry. That's great. How do you manage your bookkeeping? That's fine. What way is it done? What way do you integrate with this? And then come back to them with a couple of solutions. Give them feedback and say, look, it can be done A, B, or C, and give them the options, and then they can kind of get a feel for what might be best suitable for them. Because unfortunately, it's a case where most businesses need a tailored fit. It's not purely you should be going with this, you should be going with this. It's not the case. So it's really figuring out how businesses are doing their internal processes, what exactly they're doing, their day to day, that type of thing, and then kind of making the advice and going back for that. But in saying that, it's the modern era. It's a necessity to be kind of cloud based and make sure that you have accessibility.
You've just described something there that we harp on about all the time to our customers, and that's what we call it the golden triangle, and it's people first, understanding the people who are going to be using this. Next is the process. What is the process? Do we need to map this thing? And then the final thing is the technology that we then put forward. Stephen, if people do have questions around this, and I'm sure there'll be a ton of questions that will follow this, where can they find you?
Yeah, so they can reach out to me. Probably the best way is by my email. So it's Stephen, so Stephen, and it's at calcaccounting.ie. So KALC accounting.ie. Obviously, our website there will give you a good bit. It's www.calcaccounting.ie.
Yeah.
They'll find a lot of the information there. But as I said, drop me an email and be kind of happy to help. At the moment, we're seeing a lot of migration process put in place, particularly just given that a lot of people are having to work from home, and they're kind of reviewing their systems and saying, right, look, this is how we're doing things. Is there a way of improving or making it better, or should we go on the cloud? Should we not? Stuff like that. So it's the way it's going, Kieran. As you can imagine, it's a 21st century digital technology, and I just see it's a no-brainer to try and save time in some way, because time is money. That's
there's absolutely no doubt, and with the current situation that we're going through at the moment, it's probably not a better time to have a look at your systems and them little issues in the business that keep you awake at night. Probably a good time to start looking at them, and I'm sure you will have a few of our guys reaching out to you with some follow-ups. Stephen, listen, wish you all the best with it. Hopefully we can get back to some sort of normality soon. And when we do, sure, I'll catch you for a coffee on the road somewhere.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, Stephen.
Appreciate
listen,
that.
thanks for your time.
Thanks, Kieran.
Appreciate it. Cheers.
Thanks, Thank you.